Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alier Sens is a great read, but in order for it to be a great read, I wanted you to know about Aristotle and Dante. These are not just two random names that the author chose. Aristotle was alive in the hundreds BC, and he was a philosopher and a scientist. And he came up with a philosophy of ethics and kind of human behavior that people still study today. His writings and what he thought was the first of its kind. But he was very scientific and logical. So that is Aristotle. But we have another character named Dante, based on the Italian poet, right? So not as scientific as logical, but an Italian writer and poet who wrote long poems that are still read today, and more flowery, right? More into language and feelings and kind of these other things, almost the opposite of Aristotle. They did not live at the same times, but are somehow the basis of this novel that we think you're really going to enjoy reading, even though these two names are from a really, really long time ago. What do they have to do with the characters? Are the characters like them? Opposite of them? You're going to have to read to find out. I thought the best way to hook you into the book was to read some of the titles of the sections. So the book is divided into sections that have really cool names, and then an epigraph, which is a little description. And the very first section of the book is called The Different Rules of Summer. What does that make you think of? And the epigraph is, the problem with my life was that it was someone else's idea. What does that even mean? I want to read to find out, don't you? The different rules of summer. We all have summer vacation. What happens in the summertime? You don't go to bed at the same time. You don't have schoolwork to do. Summer's a little bit different. But this line, the problem with my life was that it was someone else's idea. What can that even be? And if we keep reading, the next section, so there's chapters in the first section, and then the next section is called Sparrows Falling from the Sky. Sparrows are a type of bird. We have met our two main characters by now, which are two boys that start to form a bond and a friendship. And the epigraph for this section of the book is, when I was a boy, I used to wake up thinking that the world was ending. Kind of dark, right? When I was a boy, I used to wake up thinking that the world was ending. Kind of a dark or pessimistic view of life, don't you think? And then the title of this section, Sparrows Falling from the Sky. Some bad stuff is going to go down, and you'd have to read to find out what. The third section of the book is called The End of Summer. Okay, if we're in summer, there has to be an end to summer, and everyone goes back to school, right? Well, the epigraph for this one is, do you remember the summer of the rain? You must let everything fall that wants to fall, by Karen Pfizer. So the epigraph of this section is by another author, and the author of this book takes it and uses it as part of this little description of the chapter. So we have the end of summer and things falling. Things are going to shift, right? So what is going to happen at the end of summer? And there are many more sections to the book, but I wanted to skip to the last section because the title of the last section is All the Secrets of the Universe. Kind of going back to the title of the book, right? And the epigraph for this is by a poet, W.S. Merwin. But the epigraph or little description is, through all of youth, I was looking for you without knowing what I was looking for. Two people perhaps looking for each other. One person looking for another person. What's the other person looking for? Two characters named after dead old guys. And what does that have to do with now? I am telling you, once you get into the first section of this book, you are not going to be able to put it down.